Hello there. Thank you for clicking. Now, on this video, I'm going to share with you 4 best investments that you can make at these tough economical times. Let's not lie to each other. Let's bust the bubble and talk or hold the bull by its horn. The reality is our country, Kenya, is facing tough economical times. And guess what? That is not only constricted to Kenya, but also globally. A lot of countries are facing what we call the recession. Right now, a lot of people are complaining about the rise of the cost of living. Recently, Kenya increased the cost of fuel by a couple of shillings out there, but now people are complaining. And one thing that you're supposed to know is that whenever fuel is increased, it has a ripple effect to other commodities in our country. Okay, now on this video, I'm going to take you step by step and share with you these 4 amazing investments because that you can be able to make at these tough economical times. Yeah, I know right now people are trying to cut the cost of living by actually shaking off some of the things that they find is not necessary in their lives. Okay, so anyway, all what you need to do is to sit back, relax, and watch this video to the end so that you understand what are the most amazing things that you can be able to do. But before we do that, I always post a video each and every day. So if you don't want to miss a good video about me, I talk about investment, how to save money, how to invest, and all those kind of things. All what you need to do is free, doesn't cost you anything. Just down below there on your right, there is a button written subscribe. Hit that magical button, like this video, and comment down below. By doing that, YouTube will notify you whenever I upload a new good video. Now, let's get into today's business. Now, the point is this. A lot of people right now are complaining about the tough economical times. People are saying life is harder than used to be back then. That's a reality. But guess what? Each and every storm, there is something, or there are people who get benefit out of it, and there are people who complain at the end of the day. So choose who you want to be at that particular point. Have you ever heard of people saying like, whenever there is a recession, whenever there is tough economical times, actually the richer or rich get richer, and the gap between the rich and the poor tends to grow bigger. Now, what exactly do they do? What are the areas do they invest for them to actually be able to grow significantly as we perceive? Now, on this particular video, number one of the best business or investment that you can be able to make at this particular point is this. And I want you to get a difference between a business and an investment. A business is where you work for money. An investment is where the money works for you. At this particular point, if you will head over to the Nairobi Securities Exchange and look at the prices of different shares of different companies, you realize one thing. Most of those shares are tanking, meaning they are going down. What does it mean? Because people are now withdrawing the investment towards those kind of things, and people are directing their money towards the 3 basic needs. Of course, that the food, the shelter, and the clothing. All right. So at that particular point, it means there are less people who are willing to invest in those companies, meaning the demand goes low, meaning the price goes down. At that particular point, that is usually the best time to actually go there and buy those shares. For example, right now, as you take an example of Safaricom shares, they are way down out there, and people are saying, hey, you know what? These shares are going down. I think the company is collapsing and all those kind of things. I'm not here to advertise that company. I've just picked it up as an example to explain my point. Or what you need to understand is this. Whenever there is a recession, whenever people are complaining that things are tough, it is not the best time to invest. That's an average mind. That's how the average mind reasons. That is usually the best time when people usually buy 3 commodities. Number 1, they usually invest in shares. Number 2, they invest in real estate. And number 3, they buy what we call the asset, like the lands and such kind of a thing. So what my point is, at this particular point, I would advise you to go out there and risk your money. And when I say risk, I mean a calculated one. Not put all your eggs in one basket. Go there, take some of your money that you have in your savings and do investment on the stock, shares, or what you call the securities. All what you need to do is quite simple. You get yourself a CDS account and then get started investing with shares of any given company of yours that you feel that is better for you. Anyway, I made a whole video dedicating about buying stocks or shares in our country. So you can go ahead and check off my previous videos. You'll be able to go ahead and get that specific video. So number 1, that's what I've said. It's about getting into stocks or shares of different companies. Number 2, this is the best time to buy assets. You know why? Most of the people are not directing or channeling their money towards buying the asset, meaning that the demand has gone down. When the demand goes down, of course, the price goes down. And this is the best time to actually go out there and buy that land, buy that house, buy that asset that is out there. That's what people are regarding as a luxury as of now. If you have a little bit of money set aside somewhere that you are planning to get into the investment, on that perspective, and to buy assets and such kind of a thing, this is the best and appropriate time to go ahead and do exactly that. So if you ask me, I will tell you, don't even think twice. Go ahead and pick that investment and also do that. But of course, before you do any investment, of course, you have to understand, as much as I say that they are kind of best time to invest, there are some a little aspect of risk involved, and there is no investment on earth that does not have a risk aspect in it. So the best point is to do is this: have what we call the risk calculated investment. Don't just get into it blindly just because I said it. Of course, you have to do your own research, all right? So this is the best time to go out there and get yourself into real estate, whereby if you have been thinking of actually and not building your own house, this is buying houses to sell and also getting the lands to sell and such kind of a thing. So if you are having or you have been thinking of what's the best time to do exactly that, now this is the best time. Because one thing that we know about the recession, yes, it comes time to time, and after some time it disappears, and then things go back to normal, and then the normal pricing get back to normal, and that is where people say, you know what, I made my riches or I made my wealth during a recession time. Because if you can remember, there was a global recession back in 2008, 2007, around that time, all right? And guess what? A lot of people actually were made, some of the people made their millions in that particular period. How about you take advantage of that and curtail that down towards your end? All right, now we go to the third one. Now the third one, it's about also it's an investment. The other thing that you can be able to invest on right now is things to do under the unit trust. Under the unit trust, we have a variety of investment out there. We have the balance fund, we have the bond fund, we have what we call the money market fund, which is quite a popular one. And I know probably in my videos you always hear me talk of money market fund, because it's an amazing way of investing money actually, if you do not know, and has what we call the compounding effect. And for you to build wealth or compounding effect, it's a paramount thing that you need to have or incorporate in your investment. So balance fund, or rather money market fund, and I think that you can pick it up there. And some of the companies that usually offer this money market fund, a variety of them, likes of the CIC, you can CIC Group, the ICCA, Lion, Sanlam, African Alliance, you can get the KCB, the Britam. All those companies actually offer the Old Mutual. There are many of them. You can actually go ahead and check them. They usually offer the money market fund type of an investment, and you can pick it up. Number one, this money they usually invest at the safer areas like of the FDS, that the fixed deposit, the treasury bills, and what we call the commercial papers, meaning that your money is at safe, or it's safe, and at the end of the year you get your money in terms of your interest. And of course, if you are to plow back that investment, or rather that what we call the interest, then you get what we call a compounded interest at the end of the year. So it's a thing that you're supposed to think about it, because it is an amazing way of actually going out there and investing. So money market fund, you can do the balance fund, also the same place. If you show up to those specific companies that I've just named, those are just but the list. If you show up to them, then you can be able to request or inquire whether they offer the balance fund. You can actually decide to go ahead and invest in that specific area. The other one is kind of wishy-washy, depends on who you ask. It's about the dollar account, or the balance, or the bond fund. Not really bond fund, but we call the dollar fund. All right, so at this particular point is this: there was sometimes I did share an information or an idea that, yeah, I understand there is a lot of conspiracies going along out there, and people are saying that there is a plan of de-dollarization and that kind of a thing, blah blah blah. Well, I do not know, and don't wanna discuss about the conspiracy theories and what have you. All I know is that right now the Kenyan shilling is being hit hard by the dollar, and right now as we speak, we are trading at around 140, all the way from 99 shillings. You can just imagine what's happening out there. Yeah, I understand there are rumors and things going around that the people are trying to de-dollarize and all kind of things, but the point is this: hey, you know what, less than 6 months ago it was at around that 100 and something shillings. Right now we are at 40. Those people who did say their money in that kind of a thing, of course they have made something. They have not only secured themselves from the what we call the turbulences of the local or the national economic hard times, but they have also actually made something out of it. So the point is this: I don't want to advise you to go and put all your money into dollar formality or dollar currency. No, the point is this: of course you have to diversify your investment. Remember one thing: never ever put all your money in one basket. You have to diversify yourself, so that at least in case something happens along the way, you're secured and you know very well that you're gonna survive in these tough economical times. All right, the last one but not the least, but before I share that, have you subscribed, by the way? Take that 1 second. Okay, just down below there on the right, there is a button written subscribe. How about you hit that magical button and like this video? And as well, let's continue. The last one is about the treasury bills and the treasury bonds. Okay, and I'm gonna combine this with like the circles and what have you. Now, these are one of the safest, and actually the safest ways we can put your money out there. Do you have your 50 Gs? Do you have your 100 Gs and above out there that you love, that you want to put it out there? Because, okay, first of all, I realized that the Kenya Bureau of Statistics and what have you, they revised the inflation to around 7.9%. That's still quite high, honestly. When you say at 7.9%, it's quite high, meaning that you are losing our money at a rate of 7.9% each and every year. Meaning that time if you were to put your money out there doing nothing, if the money is not growing, doesn't do anything, you're literally losing your money out there. So if you can pick it up on an investment that is giving you a return that is way above 7.9, of course you're cushioned under the inflation, or you're above the inflation, and at the same time you're making money on top of it. And some of these investments that you can pick examples are the treasury bills and the treasury bonds. Right now as we speak, there is a floated treasury bond out there, and you can get started. And it's an infrastructure bond. Keep on checking these bonds because they usually put across there on the prospectus under the CBK, that is the Central Bank of Kenya official website. You can keep on checking all those areas, and you can get started with those kind of investment. They're actually one of the safest ways on how you can go ahead and put your money out there, because some of them will give you, for example, the infrastructure bond, sometimes, not even sometimes actually, it's usually tax free. All right, it's usually a tax free, and you can get started with it and move to the along the way. And treasury bills, rest assured, is one of the safest ways on how you can actually invest your money, because you're assured of returns at the end of the period of this specified maturity period. So anyway guys, those are just but 4 areas. And by the way, I did say that I'll mention something a little bit about SACCO shares. Of course, you can pick it up. It bears the same analogy with the one that I did discuss at the beginning of this video, and that's about the stock shares. You can go ahead and invest in one of the best SACCOs in our country. Of course, I don't want to name names here because I'm not advertising them, but of course, those share or other SACCOs. You can go ahead and invest with them, be entitled to a dividends at the end of the year. Your money is not only safe, but it's also gaining you something at the end of the year. And guess what, guys? Those are just but 4, actually 6 of them. I've actually added you 2 as bonuses. All right, so those are just but 6 examples of the areas where you can be able to invest right now when you're facing tough economical times, rather than you staying there and say, hey, you know what, I think this is not the best time to invest, not the time. And this is what people tend to confuse. When we say that businesses are tough, we are not saying that the investments are tough. Although I know they go hand in hand, but at the same time, it's good to understand the difference between the two, so that when you're picking either or any, you know exactly where you're getting yourself into. So anyway, for now, guys, it's a saying goodbye. Let's meet in the next video. But before we do that, make sure that you like this video, comment down below, tell me what you think, and don't forget to grab my number. I will leave my number on the description of this specific video. You can give me a call or text me. We talk business. Guess what? I have a booklet ready with all the information. Perhaps if you've missed anything, you can pick my number, text me on WhatsApp. You can get a copy of any of what I've discussed there for only 280 shillings. Anyway, take my number from there. So for now, it's a goodbye. See you in the next one.